plaintiff, Kathy Logwood, says she and the defendants have the same mother, but she's not sure if they have the same father. So she petitioned the court for a sibling DNA test. Defendants Althea Ward and Monica Durham know Kathy has doubts about their father because they don't look alike. But Monica has no clue why she waited so long to find out the truth.
All rise. This court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Greg Mathis presiding. You may now be seated.
And we're here today for a sibling DNA test. And we know what that means, to see if you all are related as sisters.
Yes.
All right, start with you, Miss Kathy.
Well, Judge, first I would like to say that it is my pleasure of meeting you again for the second time. I met
Where
you
were we?
in Detroit. You were the campaign manager for the Honorable late Benny Napoleon.
Yeah, campaign chairman.
Chairman,
For mayor.
and I give you my condolences because I know y'all were very close. And
Thank you.
his passing personally touched my family.
Thank you.
So.
Yeah, Sheriff Napoleon, long-term friend of mine. He used to be police chief for the city of Detroit. Been sheriff for many years. Got COVID. Well, 2 weeks before the vaccines came out.
Oh.
2 months before that, I lost two guys who were in my wedding. One was my best man. Lost lifelong relationships, all in Detroit.
Wow.
All where my roots are and the primary relationships that I have. But thank you for honoring Benny Napoleon. We thank God for him, his many years of service. God bless his soul.
Yeah.
All right, and you all want to give me introductions, and you all are from Detroit as well?
No, I'm from Las Vegas.
And you?
I'm from Kentwood, Michigan.
You all never lived in Detroit?
No.
Okay. Go ahead. What led you all to come today for a DNA test as siblings?
Well, Judge, I petitioned the court for a sibling DNA test because although my sisters and I, we have the same mother, there's some question in my mind if we have the same father because of rumors and things that were said to me when I was a kid.
So you all known each other all your lives?
All our lives.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Good. Good to know.
Yes. And
You all in the household it all together?
yes, we were born in the same household.
Where?
In Chicago.
Oh, okay.
South Side.
So you all were raised in Chicago? Or just
Well,
born?
when I was 8 years old, we moved to Michigan. So I was 8, she was 13, and Monica
Part
was
of Michigan.
up north. You heard of Woodland Park? Baldwin, Idlewild?
Yeah, I know what Baldwin is.
Yeah, we moved to Woodland Park because that's where my alleged father's mother lived. So
Okay.
we moved there, and 3 months after we moved to Michigan, our father passed away. So
Yeah.
my mom,
God bless you.
my mom.
And what does your mom tell me her discussions with you about this?
Well, we were born to alcoholic parents, so we had a dysfunctional family. And when our father passed away, my mom, I personally thought my mom was going to pass away too because of grief. So growing up, my grandmother, when we would go to my grandmother's house, she would always treat Monica and I different, like we weren't her biological granddaughters. And Thea was like she wasn't fair. Like I had to do, Monica was too little, but I had to do all the work around the house. Thea got to go and didn't do any work. And she would get $5 allowance.
Unfair.
I would get a quarter. But I was
That's
doing
fair.
the
That's
work.
about what it's worth. Go ahead. Go ahead.
So, you know, I just felt like my grandmother didn't really care for me. And Thea
You can feel
was,
the vibe.
yes, and you know, Thea was put on a pedestal. So my grandmother would say things to my grandfather like, Monica and Kathy are not Flinter's children.
Oh, you heard her say that
I
as
will
early
overhear
as
that.
what age?
I was like 8, 9, 10, 11. You know, I would hear it throughout my childhood. But as a young kid, I didn't connect the dots. I didn't, you know, really put too much in it because I was a daddy's girl.
Correct.
My daddy was my daddy, and I love my daddy. And when my daddy passed away, my whole world was shaking because he was like everything, you know. He was a good man. Even though my parents were functional alcoholics, my daddy, all I know is good things about him.
Beautiful.
He took care of my mother. He took care of his children. He went to work. Now, on the weekends, it was a different story. You know, it was drinking, partying, fighting, gambling, everything.
I hope my daughter say something like that when I transition about me, but I don't know. Because recently I was saying, you know, girls, when you talk to my boys, I wrote them out. Boys ain't gonna help.
You're like my dad.
Boys don't help. So, you know, girls, when I transition, I don't want you to be sad. I want you to have a party and celebrate. He said, Dad, we already had that in mind. And I said, well, is it for the same reason? And Daddy said, I said, well, we don't know, Dad. Our reason is we gonna be glad you're gone. Nah, they didn't say that, but I don't know what they meant. I don't know what they meant by that. Celebrate the great life that we all had together, or celebrate that you gone.
Right.
But you said you love your dad.
Oh, yeah.
And you'll celebrate because of the great life you had.
Yes.
I hope my daughter say something like that when I transition about me, but I don't know. Because recently I was saying, I don't want you to be sad. I want you to have a party and celebrate. He said, Dad, we already had that in mind.
Plaintiff Kathy Lockwood says she and the defendants have the same mother, but she's not sure they have the same father. So she petitioned the court for a sibling DNA test.
Moms, tell me about Mom again.
Well, Mom actually dove into the alcohol a little bit deeper after he passed away. So I didn't have that connection with my mom, and I never understood why. You know, I just could not get there with her in the beginning. So you know how you go to school and you want to fit in with all the other kids. So I must have been like 10 or 11, and the kids at school was asking everybody, what's your middle name? What's your middle name? Then they asked me, and I said, I don't have a middle name. Then you don't have a middle name. So I felt kind of odd. So when I went home, my mom was intoxicated. And I said, Mom, I said, all the other kids have middle names. Thea and Monica have a middle name. Why don't I have a middle name? My mom said, well, I didn't give you your first name. I said, well, who named me? She said, some lady at the hospital. And that was the first time I actually felt like I wasn't wanted and I wasn't loved. So I never forgot that. You know, that always was in the back of my mind. So right after my father passed away, a person befriended my mom and immediately began to abuse me. You know, I was 25 years old, the first time I ever told my mom. And what I know for sure is that if my mom knew what was happening to me, she would have got me out of that situation. But she didn't know. So when my mom started getting dementia and her health started failing her, and she needed someone to take care of her, my sisters and I took turns caring for her in our home. And I had forgiven her for everything that happened, you know, and it was an honor for me to care for my mom the last go round. And when I tell you I took the best care of my mama that anybody
Whatever
could.
happened to this other cat?
Well, I had made a decision. I was going to kill him.
There you
I
go.
know that's bad to say, but
No, it ain't. Yes,
was-
it is. Yes, it is.
it was my plan to murder him when he was, defenseless like I was. And I was going to torture him. I was going to beat him. I was going to do all that. Judge, why you laughing at me?
I ain't laughing at you. Oh, look at it. So. Go ahead.
But, you know, my mom became a Christian and her life, you know, she turned her life around. So she drugged. Thea got away with it, but she drugged. That's why she's still a heathen. But my mom drugged me and Monica to church. So I learned about Christ and the right way to live. So I had to ask God to get that out of my heart that I wanted to kill this man when he get old. So I managed to let it go.
How did this subject come up
Well,
with your sisters?
I was watching your show about a month ago,
Okay.
and there was a man and a lady on here that didn't know they had the same father. And it said, if you want a sibling DNA test, call the show. And I'm like, oh, I'm going to call the show because I really want to know if we have the same biological father.
So we inspired you to find out more about your family life and bring you some joy or some clarity.
Yes.
All right, and I'm glad that we were able to inspire that, folks. We do more than just laugh and have fun. Like I tell you all the time, we make a difference, whether it's sending folks to rehab, whether it's helping to determine sibling and paternal relationships. So thank you for coming after seeing the good work the door does. All right, let me hear from you all. Go ahead.
Well, I know that Kathy might have her doubts because, we have different shades, we have different looks. And I know how she mentioned about my grandmother. Yeah, I was treated better because I look more like her. Mm-hmm. And she let me get away with everything. I wasn't around them a lot, like Kathy was saying, because every weekend I always, instead of being around them, always went up to Woodland Park and stayed the weekend with my grandmother. She had showed me a picture, said that like my father had 3 other children.
Your grandmother showed.
My grandmother showed me a picture.
How old were you?
Mid-teenager.
Okay, young adult.
Yeah, young adult. But she really never spoke on it that much.
I was watching your show about a month ago, and it said, if you want a sibling DNA test, call the show. And I'm like, oh, I'm going to call the show because I really want to know if we have the same biological father.
So we inspired you to find out more about your family life and bring you some joy or some clarity.
Plaintiff Kathy Logwood says she and the defendants have the same mother, but she's not sure they have the same father. So she petitioned the court for a sibling DNA test.
Why don't you tell me from your perspective?
Okay, Your Honor. So I'm the baby. I'm the prettiest of the bunch, of course. So what I want to say is, why now? We're 115 years old. Why now? She mentioned this before. I said, it doesn't even matter this, that, and the other. But now when she mentioned your show and she said, well, we can find out, I'm like, what does it matter? Dad is gone, mom is gone, you're 115, I'm 12. It's like, but she just has to know. And it is true, with me being the baby, I was the one that was always like, oh, you were found on a doorstep. Oh, you were adopted. They played around. I never, just like Kathy said, I never felt that I belonged. I always felt different. People would always ask, do you have any sisters? I said, well, yeah, Kathy and Thea is my sister. They're not your sister. I said, they are my sister. Because Kathy, she was considered the white girl. Thea was considered the Looney Tune, which they had that right. And it was one of those things that she wasn't really around, Your Honor. She wasn't around. So it was one of these things, and Kathy and I, we wasn't, even though we were in Grand Rapids, at the same time, Kathy was basically gone, when we were not in church. So I felt alone, and my mother always pushed me aside. So it was one of these things. Once I found out, my father passed when I was 4. And so I don't remember anything about him but his funeral. I remember his funeral. That's the only memory. Yes. And so when the both of them play around, or they would tell me, you're adopted, found you on the doorstep. So, okay, I'm like, okay, well, I'm cool in the gang with that. It's just like, okay,
you knew
whatever.
They were playing, though, I'm sure.
Not necessarily, Your Honor, because it was really serious. This one right here, she put me in the oven, so maybe that's why my skin is this color.
Your Honor, I was giving her a bath.
That's how she dried me off
in a roasting
oven.
pan.
In the oven?
No. I had the lid down because I couldn't reach in the sink. I had the lid down with the roasting pan. I did have soap
In the roasting
water.
pan, you put her in the roasting pan.
In the roasting pan, Your
Yes,
Honor.
and I had soap in the water, and I was bathing.
And you
Your
needed
Honor.
hot water.
No, it was warm.
And so you put it in the oven to heat the
dry me
water
off.
up because
I
you
did-
wanted to get a baby a hot bath.
No, I just had the lid down, the roasting pan.
You had the lid down on the
See what I'm
pan.
saying? Your Honor, see what I mean?
Stop while you still have your
Please,
freedom
please.
because I don't think
Please
there's a
lock you up.
statute of limitation on
Thank you.
this.
Your Honor, please let me take it one step further. Please, just give me just about 10 more seconds of your time.
Yes.
Then the girl sat me outside because she was upset because she could not go to the Cubs baseball game. This girl pushed me down the stairs. I still have the mark. I still have
she
the mark
did
to
do
this
that.
day. She pushed me down
I'm
the
a
stairs.
witness.
Now here I am, as they call me, the little boy. So she pushes me down the stairs, Your Honor. So what would even make me think that they would be my sisters? I mean, you know, to me, it's like Kathy said, yes, we sit up here and have the same mother, or maybe I don't.
All right, so I have the results.
Well, Judge,
Yes.
excuse me. May I say something else? And I know I can't tell my whole story on this episode. And I know one day I'm gonna have to write my memoir so everybody can read. I mean my memoir. I'm sorry, I watch too much Medea. But you know, in the
Those who
big-
don't know, Medea messes up English like
Every
nobody ever has. And that's what she would say about a memoir. She would
Yep.
call it an memoir.
Memoir.
Medea and Tyler Perry.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
But I want you and the court to know that the bond that I longed for with my mom in the beginning, God was so gracious to give me that bond with my mom at the end. So I presented a video, if you would like to see it, to
Sure.
the court to show how me and my mom vibe.
Absolutely.
My mother loved to dance.
See y'all dancing, you look like that. Beautiful. All right. Thank you. Got everyone. And give me some tissue, please.
I'm the baby. I'm the prettiest of the bunch, of course. So what I want to say is, why now? I'm like, what does it matter? Dad is gone, mom is gone, you're 115, I'm 12. It's like, you know, but she just has to know.
Plaintiff Kathy Logwood says she and the defendants have the same mother, but she's not sure they have the same father. So she petitioned the court for a sibling DNA test.
And you all share the same mother.
Yes.
All three of you, there's no question about that. The only question is whether you all share the same father.
Yes.
And Althea and Monica do share the same father. That's what we have here. All right. Good luck to you guys.
Been all these years, so oh my God. It's been all these years.
Come on, baby. We all together.
It's been all these years, so it's never gonna change. Never gonna change.
You know you got God on your side now.
Yes, we do.
So let's say a prayer. Dear God, we come to you asking for healing, asking for comfort. We thank you for all the blessings of health and safety. And so we continue to pray for your grace and your mercy. Amen.
Amen.
God bless y'all. Hang in there.
Thank you so much.
plaintiffs, Charles Lockhart and his wife, Chateau Jackson, bought their children a puppy during the pandemic. But they claim their neighbor, the defendant, owns a vicious dog who attacked their puppy twice. They're suing because as a result of the second attack, they were forced to put their puppy down. Defendant Trina Hardesty has owned her dog for 4 years, and she is not as vicious as the plaintiffs are making her out to be. Although Trina admits her dog bit the plaintiff's dog, she does not believe that is what led to the dog's death, so she denies owing.
Start with you all.
As you know, with this pandemic lately, it's been a little interesting last couple of years. So with school being canceled and online, we actually lost our dog of 11 years, November of 2019. So last December, we decided to get our children a Chihuahua, which they absolutely loved. Shortly then we moved into a complex.
Daughter and a dog. Just keep her happy during the pandemic. It was very rough, sir.
How old is your child again?
She's 5 years old.
5.
That's our youngest.
Yeah, she was.
You have any other siblings?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
How many?
I have 5 children.
Okay. Give me the range.
13, 12, and
5 through, yeah, 5
to
through
13?
Yes, sir.
All right.
And
what's the next age over the 5, though?
10 now.
So 5-year-old and a 10-year-old is about the same as me and my brother. And my brother didn't want me hanging out with him, but my mother made me.
Right, a big gap, big age gap.
Trying to get an understanding there.
The puppy needing,
There you go.
Yes,
they need a puppy because the 10-year-old was tired of the 5-year-old.
And the other ones are all like 10, 11, 12, 13.
Yep. All right. So you did right. And how did that go? It was, I'm sure, brought a lot of joy to you all during this pandemic.
Yes, he was a spunky. He was just.
It was a great dog.
He was.
And you all know your neighbor, obviously.
We hadn't even been probably 3 months in, so don't know her too well.
At the time.
At the time. However, we did very quickly learn that.
She could be a little distracted.
Is that before or after the incident you're suing about that you learned?
After.
It was after the first incident.
Yeah.
Why don't you give me some background, ma'am, and then we'll get into the specifics.
So I had only been neighbors with them for a few months.
Mm-hmm.
I just keep to myself, stay away from everyone. I don't like to associate. They were always barbecuing right in front of our doors, making it hard to come in and out of the apartment without
All
smelling.
you can think about is food. Huh? Cooking barbecue up under your nose every day.
Yes, sir.
And you couldn't leave because of the pandemic. So you just had to sit there and smell barbecue and greens and potato salad
Yes, sir.
all day. And you should be the one suing for that, for cruel and
not my
unusual
style.
punishment.
It's not my style.
Defendant Trina Hardesty is being sued by her neighbors, who claim Trina's dog attacked their dog, and as a result of his injuries, they were forced to put him down.
Sounds like you have a dog also?
I do. I've had my dog for almost 4 years.
What type of dog?
She's a mix, dingo and some other mixed.
Okay. You have a
breeds on
picture?
her.
You showed
I
me
have-
a picture of that
yeah,
dog.
I do.
What
have-
page is your dog on?
I've got 2 and 3. My daughter and my niece made her a princess.
So she's
being
a
dressed
princess
up.
because she's
Yeah. She's
all right.
Yeah.
Female.
And then on page 3, it's her with my son's other dogs,
This
my
is the same,
grandpuppies.
I was about to say, this isn't the same
Yeah.
dog.
She's the one up by my niece's head.
Right. This
And-
looks like a pit bull at the other end,
Oh
man.
gosh, he's a baby. He
Baby pit bull.
he's like sweet and innocent and
Well, let me hear from these folks and let's see.
Sir, this doesn't show any sign of if it was such a sweet innocent dog.
so that
Is that a
was
sign
posted
saying vicious
after-
dog?
after the first.
After the second
The second-
incident.
All right, well, she rightfully did so. Not necessarily an indication of guilt. It's an indication that she knew that her dog was dangerous and therefore people should stay away.
If that was the case, why she ain't trying to?
Pardon?
She's trying to paint a picture as if the dog wasn't.
So sweet.
Yeah, and you're right. I know better than that.
She knew before.
the way that dog
I think
looking
that
at
she
me.
knew even before this incident, sir. That because I think there were some other people out in our neighbor. He would say that when he comes home, that the dog, when he's walking up, the dog would get growl.
Your Honor, she would, because it would be about 1 o'clock in the morning and it'd be dark and she wouldn't
That's
see
the
him.
curfew for the dog.
Well,
What curfew the dog got
Right?
for?
She always had to go potty at 1 o'clock in the morning.
So if you're not home by 1, you're in trouble. Time you get in.
Yeah, this is you walking to your own door.
She would be away from
All
the
right.
doors.
And tell me what happened.
Okay, yes, Your Honor. So on March 21st, 2021, my children were walking, not even really walking. We have a little park in the back of our complex. So all of the children, the neighborhood children were out there as well, had our dog on a leash, sitting out there at the park playing. And her dog
somehow got loose, ran around. This is a very big building. Ran all the way around the
The
building.
pit bull.
No,
And-
she's not pit bull.
Yeah, no, literally. My children came running in the house, so scared. They said that the dog was shaking
They were really
the crap out
they
of
were
our dog
really-
as they're carrying him in. And then
If
the
you look at
pictures,
pages 11,
11 kind of shows more of just the
8,
whole.
11. This was the picture 8 right here is on the back of his neck. Right here on the back of his neck, he had a puncture wound. You can see the hole. He had a huge
They
puncture
had to
wound.
shave him.
Oh, yeah. Because
And on page
11.
9, that's his tummy, it's his abdomen area here, where, because he was just the way the dog grabbed him and bit him, and it bruised his bottom side, and you can look on page
It shook him like a
10
rag
also.
doll.
What
So
was
the
the
first vet
discussion?
bill then is that page 2.
And this was March?
Yes,
This
sir.
is March.
Okay, and
Yes.
how was that resolved, both that day and later on?
Okay, so instantly my kids come running in the house. Mom, Scoob's been attacked, all of this. So I was like, what? Was he on a leash? Did you guys do something wrong? You know what I mean? Who's at fault here? No, Ma, he was on a leash. Their dog just came running around the apartment complex and just shook him like a rag doll. So by then, I'm freaking out because then they're showing me our puppy. You can tell he's super hurt. So I'm checking him out. My husband runs outside to go see, what's going on. He runs over there and is confronting her. He said she's didn't say anything, acted like her dog didn't just viciously attack our puppy. Then
There was a
she
lack of
started
sympathy and
freaking out
empathy, and then
because of
she
his
went
reaction.
straight into Karen mode on me and just started, trying to play the victim role. I'm like, wait a minute. What if this would have been my children? You see the pictures. What if this dog would have, that could have been one of my children. They were out there, But as soon as she goes into Karen mode on me, and then tries to play the victim role, I'm like, then she threatens to want to call a cop.
Karen role, for those who don't know, is a white woman who expresses fear as a ploy to try and get sympathy for
Yes, sir.
themselves. So you think that she was, and tell me what she did, though. I can't let you just say
Yes,
that
sir.
about
Sir,
the woman, that she did something.
When I went over there to talk to my daughter, she was showing me where they were, and she was there, with the dog, and my dog was, and I'm just asking, what happened, what scenes, what transpired. I'm asking my daughter because I don't know who or and then all of a sudden she's like, you can't speak to me that way. Like I'm like, I'm not even talking to. I'm not gonna even talk to you right now.
You were upset. So what happened, though?
Yeah.
No,
I
that's
just
not how
asked,
it happened,
what
Your Honor.
happened. I asked her
Did
plainly.
she accuse you of threatening her? Did she
Yes,
call the
she
police
said,
and
yeah.
say, I got a man
Yes, sir.
here
Yes, the
who wants
police
to
were
get
called.
me?
Yes,
That's
sir.
what Karen's
Yes,
do.
Yes.
sir. Yes, sir.
Defendant Trina Hardesty is being sued by her neighbors, who claim Trina's dog attacked their dog, and as a result of his injuries, they were forced to put him down.
Ma'am, did you call the police?
No,
on him?
they called the police because my dog attacked their
Right.
dog. I'm not saying she didn't at that time. She did get out. I don't believe she was trying to attack their dog. She's not really as vicious as everyone says she is.
I'm sorry.
That is where the dangerous dog comes in.
I'm
Honestly.
sorry, but that wasn't the right thing to say. She didn't get in court to say anything. You say, she's not the vicious dog that everybody that's ever met my dog
Well, not
says she's vicious, but
right.
she's not really.
Well, it's the neighbors that say that.
I know.
Is what I
The neighbors are
meant.
the victims.
But she did get out.
But she's not the
Yes,
she's not the vicious dog that some
Yes.
not everybody, because you said everybody. Say a couple of people, or just specify them. Say she's not the vicious dog they think.
she
All
is.
right.
I am not
You done busted yourself.
Karen, as they said.
All
and
right.
he did not come asking nicely what happened.
I'm sure he didn't.
He
I'm
came
sure he
running
was
out,
upset.
yelling at the top of his lungs, "You're going to pay if my dog's
Yep.
really hurt and something
Yep.
bad happens to the dog," which is fine. Honestly, if something like that had happened in my case, I probably would have been
Right.
angry too.
Yeah.
Not a big deal. Yeah,
But
Your
I
Honor.
just don't think.
I'm not
If
afraid
I
of
may.
him, not afraid of anyone.
When the
So,
police
no.
came out,
That's not
sir,
true, sir.
when the police came out, sir, they came to me saying that she was trying to press charges on my husband.
Yes, sir.
When I made the police report, obviously, for the incident of my dog being attacked, they came
Really?
came to us
Yes, sir.
Did
with
they
the
say
whole,
what she
and I was like, no, you're
she
not.
would be pressing charges against him for? Did they say?
Threatening her, talking loudly.
You said he told you would pay, and that means court, and that's where we're at now.
Yes, sir.
So, and my hope is that you didn't consider pressing charges against him out of fear that he would do something to you.
No, sir, Your Honor.
Okay. So, with regard to that incident, now I understand there's a second incident?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. So with the first incident, we came to an agreement. My husband said,
acceptance.
I just want you to promise me that this won't happen again.
Yes.
Just promise that this won't happen again.
We shook hands. I apologize to Miss Trina. I
About
told her that
getting
I apologize.
upset?
I'm sorry that I was, about the incident that happened between us, and I totally apologize. And we came to agreement that it won't happen
She
again.
said that she couldn't
And she will-
afford the vet bill.
And so we said that's fine.
So I was just like,
No,
you
I
know
never
what? I'm
said
still
that.
going to take care of my dog.
Not
So
less than 30 days later.
literally a month later, the same thing happens. Somebody walking out the house. There's constantly people going in and out of her house. Yes. Somebody walks out the house, can't shut the door behind them again. Dog gets out. Literally this time, this is right in front of our door. My son had just walked out the door, like on our doorstep, taking the dog out for a walk to go to the bathroom. The dog comes running out, does the exact same thing. The dog is so little, just can literally put his whole mouth around him. So, my son comes running in the house, same scenario, like so traumatizing.
But this
It's just
time-
like keep happening.
This
So
time we
this
weren't so
time,
lucky. And if you look
No,
at page 6
page
and
6.
page 7, you can see that her dog snapped my dog's spine. If this is not vicious, I don't understand what is. And my children, this is the second time this dog came in my house, dying in my children's arms. And ever since then, my daughter, my 5-year-old daughter, she sees someone walking down the road. She sees someone with their dog. She goes up and she's tearing up, and all she can say to these people is, "I had a dog, but my dog spine was broken." I mean,
my dog was killed. She tells
for
everyone
2
the story
weeks.
about her
For
dog.
2
dying.
weeks, she cried.
Defendant Trina Hardagy is being sued by her neighbors, who claim Trina's dog attacked their dog, and as a result of his injuries, they were forced to put him down.
Well, let me hear what happened the second time, ma'am.
So the second time we were walking out, their child had been out with the dog already. My sister was leaving. I was taking the dog out. Their dog, it's a Chihuahua. It barks a lot. It was like going towards my sister. My sister went to go around the sidewalk, and she tripped like on the sidewalk and grass between that.
Your
the little,
sister tripped?
Yeah, my sister. She had a baby in her arms. She tripped. She fell. My dog thought that the Chihuahua was attacking my sister. I know it's no excuse. It's horrible what happened, but unfortunately it did happen. Their little boy, my dog had their dog around the neck. Their little boy got scared, grabbed their dog at the butt part, and was pulling to try to get their dog away from my dog. And that's what happened. I got my dog off, took her inside as she was coming downstairs because it was only the little boy and the dog. She come running out, hollering that, it was the second time, which it has been. And my sister was trying to explain to her what had happened, why, my dog thought she was being attacked and went after their dog. And my sister said, I have a baby in my hands. And she said a very bad word, and the baby. This is the second time. Told my sister, either the dog's gone or you're gone.
It's just a problem when you can't control the people in your household not being able to close the door behind themselves.
None of the cases was because the door
Because my son already took my dog out once. It's a problem to go out
why
again.
don't you think you should be held liable for this?
If my dog was the cause of the spine being broke, which is hard to decide because the child was grabbing and ripping.
If your dog had not put their dog in the grips of his mouth, would his spine be broken?
Absolutely not. And I'm not saying...
Your dog attacked theirs. By virtue of owning a vicious dog, you are automatically liable for whatever that vicious dog does.
Correct.
And that is the law, folks. You should know that.
Yes, sir.
If you have a dog, and there's categories, just look it up. Google it. You can Google everything. Now everybody should be smart.
Yes,
I'm
sir.
smarter than I used to be, and I was already smart. I'm smart. After Google, I'm super smart, and I know everything now. All right, my kids always doubted me that I knew everything. They said, you would know it all. I am now.
Yes,
I got my receipts.
Your Honor,
Yes, sir.
So, yes, ma'am.
I do believe that I'm liable for the vet bill itself. The pain and suffering, I don't think I'm liable. They said that they were, really attached to this dog. I believe they are. I don't think there was as much suffering. The day that my dog got took to the pound, my kids took 2 days off of school to mourn for my dog.
No empathy.
They were
sympathy.
out at the
No
park
lack of
and having
everything.
barbecues again with the barbecue.
This is a child and a Chihuahua.
I'm not saying that I don't think that
You
the
don't think
baby
that would hurt you?
was sad. I absolutely agree the baby was sad. She's the sweet and innocent one in this.
I'm going to grant their judgment, ma'am, both for the vet bills and the emotional distress. That's a child who witnessed the death of their dog, which was really their emotional support during a deadly pandemic. Judgment for the plaintiffs. Good luck to you.
Thank you, Your
send
Honor.
that baby my regard.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Tell the Judge Mathis say love you, and then show him one time on television, just once.
How about, if we can get an autograph, a picture autograph, that'd be awesome.
I will. 'Cause believe it or not, although this is a daytime program, it's not always for children.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Judgment for the plaintiff. Good luck to you. Give your children my regards as well. Good enough. Judgment for the plaintiff. We'll work that out for your daughter's autograph.
Thank you, sir.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. I just wanted you to take responsibility and accept the responsibility and be sorry. And our bill's covered.